Hey, welcome to another episode of Legion Elite Motorsports. I'm your host, Isaiah. And today, we're going to be working on a car. Let's see which one. Okay, so since the parts are kind of delayed due to COVID, I will move on to something else. So that something else is this car right here. So a ways back, I let you guys know that I'm having issues with the clutch. So I got the ACT unit plus air fuel ratio gauge and all of that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop the tranny and start that, get that in progress. Actually, I'm gonna change the transmission. So this transmission's a 88. I'm gonna put in a 89 transmission, and there is technically no difference. It's just more along the lines of where the transmission came from and what type of abuse and maintenance, or either one it had. So apparently the 89 transmission, which I'm going to show you right now. So apparently this 89 transmission spent most of its life not working. So that makes it pretty much closest to brand new as I could think of. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this transmission in and take my transmission out. Reason being is because not only before the clutch issue was I having problems with the transmission, because at high RPM it wouldn't let me shift. So I know synchros and a couple other things could be the matter with that transmission. So my idea and plan is to pop this transmission in, take the other one out, see if I could find some replacement parts. If not, we're gonna open it anyway and see what's inside, see what damage has been caused, and kind of take it from there. So we're gonna put this 89 transmission in. It's dirty, but clean it up a little bit. Put that in and take it from there. So first things first, we got to get this car up in the air. So I'm gonna do that. Then I'm gonna drain the brand new fluids I put in the transmission and start taking it apart. Okay, so we have the fluid drained, and this is all of the muck that was on the drain plug. You see the oil was clean, but the metal shavings on the magnetic plug was actually full. And from such a short period of time, that's kind of scary. So it definitely makes more sense, because the car would have to be yanked out of gear and forced into gear. So all of that grinding and all that other stuff, I'm sure it took its toll. But I would definitely say that this thing is probably on its last legs, but we're gonna find out as soon as we take this transmission out and check it. But until then, so the car is drained, and I'm gonna put this plug back so we don't make any further mess. And yep, it's time to take out the drive shaft and all of that other good stuff. Okay, a little update in progress. Okay, so we got the reverse light unplugged. The ground here is disconnected. Let's see, the speedometer cable, that piece is the reason why my speedometer cable doesn't work. It actually detached itself from the cable inside there. But I do have a new one, so we are going to hook that up. And well, not yet, I have to finish taking out the transmission, but we're gonna pop in the new one, and I'm gonna take my gauges out to plug in the new speedometer cable, and then gotta finish unbolting. I got some of the bolts out, slave cylinder out. I have 2 bolts up top, then the transmission is loose from the back of the engine, and then I got to take these 4 bolts out, then that will be it back here, and then everything should come down nice and easy. So I will be back once more of this stuff is taken down, give you guys an update. Okay, so transmission is pulled out. I put a brand new rear main seal, and you would not be able to tell with the amount of oil that's sitting here puddling, and all of this stuff that I pressure washed came right back. And that's pretty interesting, because the car, after the clutch, has only been running less than 100 miles, so that is very interesting. Next, the throwout bearing. I need to take this one out so you guys can get a closer look, but if you look at that, it spins, but it's almost equal to this piece here. And I know it's not supposed to be like that, which leads me to believe the reason why I wasn't getting full throw is because either this collapsed or was engineered wrong or something. But this is definitely sitting too far back. So let me show you the previous piece that was in the car, and I again had no issues other than the fact that the clutch gave out. So the new one hasn't come in yet due to slow shipping of the virus thing that's going around. But this is a koyo unit. You see how further out this one is compared to that one, which is almost even. So let me take this out. Okay, so on the left is koyo, and on the right is eBay. Not even sure what brand this is, if it even has a brand. Probably not. But anyway, there is a height difference. You see this one is higher. It has the proper gap to fit in these clips, and it's further forward. That one sits further back on the right. So I could definitely see why, no matter how far I push the clutch, I could not get the pressure plate to disengage. So this is the unit that's coming. I don't know if this one is non-turbo or turbo, but yeah, you could see the difference. Huge difference, by the way. Oh, and before I show you the other tranny, remember I was saying that it was a rattling noise while the clutch wasn't pressed? This is the one that came with the kit. This is the koyo. So let's put this one on, like so, right? That is my rattling. Koyo doesn't do any of that. It's solid. So that's food for thought. So I would recommend, if you are gung-ho about the eBay clutch and want to run it anyway, change your throwout bearing. For a while they were running a plastic one, then they went to metal, and then this metal one is garbage. So just get a koyo and not worry about it. Okay, so this is the transmission we pulled out, and this is a spare that I had sitting around. Also, this one seems to be pretty clean on the outside. This one's dirty on the outside. This one over here is dirty on the inside. And compared, this one's a lot cleaner. So I'm gonna definitely clean this one out, but as you can see, I have a fork, boot, C-clips, spider webs. That's additional, adds extra horsepower. Remember that, guys. Also, throwout bearing and all that other good stuff, which is great. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the throwout bearing out, because those do not like water. They will seize up. And take out these pins to hold on the throwout bearing, and just basically get it ready to go in. This is gonna get cleaned up real nice, and we should be good to go. This is an 88 transmission, this one's an 89, and there's no difference between these two. Same thing, no changes, anything like that. 87 has some subtle differences. Smaller belly pan, which is this guy here. You'll see it's like a thin piece of steel versus the thicker, I don't know if this is, well, it's cast, but aluminum or whatever. So yeah, that's the only differences between that. I don't believe there's any difference in the gear ratios or anything like that. Could be, kind of doubt it, but you know. So yeah, so we're gonna clean this transmission up and get it ready for installation. Also, before I install this transmission, I'm gonna take the belly pan off to make sure there's nothing seized, rusted, or nasty or anything. Okay, we got the belly pans off, and let's compare. So our right side is the one that we pulled off the Silver Starion 1988. Our left side is the 89 I pulled off, so this pan is here. 88, that pan is there. So first thing I wanted to do is check out what came out. So step over to this one, and let's check the pan. There is a lot of debris. I hope it's not metal. Feels like fabric. I don't know where that could come from, but okay. This one's hard. Looks like old silicone. I don't know, but there's so much debris on here. Is that? I don't know. I know it's not healthy, that's for sure. I would like to go through this with a magnet and see what picks up, but let's swing over here into this. Let me get some light on the subject also. Okay, so this is the gear set in the back. Let's see. And then I see synchronizers back here, which don't look too horrible. I don't see any pieces missing from the synchro. It does have normal wear. And then, I don't know if you could see this, but there's a little bit of a shine on the beginning part of the gears. But oh yeah, there's a lot of silicone in here. Okay. So this tranny is not bad. I think, oh yeah, there's a lot of silicone in here. Yeah, not too bad. Definitely a lot of silicone particles in here. This can probably be cleaned out. And yeah, I'm probably gonna take the transmission apart, well, this one at least, and you know, see if I can get some new synchros and a couple of other different things in this transmission, if it's available. But yeah, not too bad. Just a lot of clutter, but definitely not too bad. All right, so now we move on to our 89 transmission pan. So this one looks perfect. I don't see any fragments. I see a lot of old oil, as shown by the mud. So this will be cleaned up. Inside this one, everything looks great. There's no particles of any kind. There we go. Alrighty, yep, everything looks good. Little dirty, probably a couple of tranny service intervals have been skipped, but not bad in general. Yeah, not bad. So I'm going to clean our 89 up and get this ready to be installed. Also cleaning up inside the bell housing. Okay, she is all clean, or as clean as she's gonna get. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to lubricate this area right here for the slide and this one for the gear so nothing binds up. And then we're gonna move to the pressure plate and clutch assembly, see what and how that's doing. Okay, so I pulled out the pressure plate and clutch assembly, and it doesn't have a groove or anything, which is good, but according to the drag impressions on the pressure plate, I believe, and this could be because of my driving, it's not enough pressure, so it'll actually grab and then slide instead of gripping and leaving subtle, you know, scratch marks there. And plus I see a little bit of overheating here and things like that. So one, this wasn't broken in properly as far as you know, at least a 500-mile usage before drifting and all of that other stuff, of course, which is my fault, no big deal. And then the clutch disc, it's evenly worn, so that's good. And the pads aren't disintegrated yet, but yeah, so it's not too bad in that department. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to get rid of the pressure plate, I'm going to use this clutch disc, and I'm going to slide in my ACT pressure plate and take it from there. Now, as far as the oil leakage for the rear main seal that I did replace brand new, let me put some light on the subject. Spillage on the floor was coming from back here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the oil pan down really fast and reseal it in the rear. Well, all the way around if I pull it all the way down. And then it should be good to go. So the actual seal on the bottom end is perfectly fine. There's no oil in that area. It's more so on the side. So I'm gonna reseal the side area, and it should be good to go after that. I'm gonna use some throttle body cleaner to clean up the excess oil, and it should be good to go. And then for the flywheel, this is an 8889 flywheel. It's hanging in there. There's no lips or anything put on it. I'm also gonna clean this off because I did grab it with my oily hands, and get this ready to reinstall. So everything should be on point. So I will be right back. All right, ACT pressure plate is in. I'm wipe down the pressure plate, and yep, we're ready to throw back on the transmission. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. I didn't want to make the video too long, so part 2 of what's going on will be the next episode. This should give it enough time for the parts and everything to get here, and we should be good to go. All right, so I'll see you next episode. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon, and I will definitely see you next episode.